Hi, this is Catherine Ann with Chenoweth and Cohen. I am out at Eagle Ops interviewing Jessica and Jonathan, asking them what they do for the Tulsa area for veterans.
Hey, Catherine. So, Jonathan Shepard and Jessica Shepard, the founders of the Eagle Ops Foundation. And our mission, so our mission statement is connecting relationships to resources to bring our heroes home, one operation at a time. And so that mission, it's kind of condensed version of really what we do. We do a lot, obviously, within that mission. Our focus and our heart, our true heart, is connecting veterans and their family to resources to assist in their transition home. So as a Marine Corps veteran myself, I did not make a very healthy transition home initially, to the tune of about the first 5 years. I came home to raise my son and be a good husband, be a good father. And I was neither of those for a good portion of that first 5 years and maybe a few others after that, but as I was finding my way. But once Jessica gave me that coming to Jessica meeting and bailed me out of jail, legitimately out of jail the last time, that was the straw. And she said, no more. Either we're going to go get you help or you get to do this on your own, but you're not going to continue to do it in this house.
That's awesome.
And so that started the evolution of Jessica and I both connecting myself to resources in the community and saying, hey, what was out there? Obviously, we're huge at this point. We're certainly huge proponents and advocates for everything VA on that side of it, from healthcare to benefits and compensation. And those are, as veterans, those are primary resources for us, obviously, in the community across the board. And so, but through that transition of connecting me to those resources and us to those resources and helping my transition home, we found that every single veteran that we come in contact with was going through the same trials and tribulations that I was putting my family through at some level, right? Some less, some more, some extremely more. And some was, everyone deals with demons and issues and things in that transition a little differently. All of us have a different situation, different experiences, etc. And so through that process, we found that not only every veteran was going through that, but we could assist them if we could just make a connection with them.
Right.
And so the evolution of Eagle Ops really started back in early 2000s. And then obviously in 2016, we started the outreach program with our then company. Half of our employees at that time when we started the company were veterans. And so we really focused on then just kind of plugging into the veteran community and getting them and their families kind of plugged in, like, hey, here's these resources. Let's go and volunteer some hours and plug into and help Blue Star moms with packing boxes. Shipping them overseas is one thing that if you've ever deployed and you got a care package from back home, man, it just brightens your day. It was awesome.
Right.
And so that was one of the things that we kind of got involved in. And then any other organization, VFW, American Legions, DAVs, if they're having an event and they needed volunteers, and we don't call them volunteers at Eagle Ops, we call them difference makers. We would call on our difference makers and say, hey, the guys, gals, family, let's go and help these folks. So they need, whatever it was. It could be a fundraiser. It could be building a ramp for a veteran that's in need, or,
awesome.
Doing any number of things, mowing a lawn, that kind of stuff, or just sitting down and having coffee. Sometimes we do, things like that. And so through all of that, all the early years was really just kind of plugging into organizations, kind of finding our way and looking into other organizations, how we could fit in and help really in the community. And then in 2019, we sold that company and had to make a life transition, really. And it was one of those that we were making pretty good headway with Eagle Ops, and we didn't want to lose that. Right. And so we created the 501c3 nonprofit and the foundation to continue that mission. Mm-hmm. And so from 2019 until now, we were at that time, the first 7 years of Eagle Ops existence, we worked day jobs, worked during the day. We do all of our events at night. Going back to that mission and kind of thinking about our part was every veteran we come in contact with through the process of connecting us to resources and being connected to resources, we found those veterans that were having those same struggles. Well, we realized that if we don't have a good rapport and a relationship, thinking about the military, that battle buddy mentality, if we don't have that rapport with them, then they are not, most of them will not open up enough to be able to say, hey, I'm struggling with this. Right. I could use help with VA healthcare, VA claims assistance. I've never filed a claim. I could really use help with job training or education or financial assistance. Or on the other side of that, where it's, hey, this is where a true relationship comes into play is I'm struggling mentally, anxiety, depression, PTSD, MST, all of those things that can come from the military and in that transition. Started in the military potentially, or it was afterwards, or a combination of both. If we don't have a good rapport and a relationship and a trust with them, then we may never know that.
Right.
And so that was one of the big things that we realized that, okay, if that's happening and they're struggling, like myself, I spent 5 years literally in the bottom of a bottle. And the only way that you knew that, hey, I was struggling with things is because I got myself in trouble, right? I got to that level of, I couldn't hide it anymore because I got really dumb and obviously got put in jail, right? Done something stupid. And so, and it was outside the legal, obviously I got in trouble. And so that's the really only time that you really knew that, hey, I was truly struggling or going through stuff, right?
At least the outside world.
Well, yeah. And Jessica obviously saw that there was some things going on, but didn't know how to deal with that early on. Now we're
not trained for that.
Exactly. Yeah, we're not trained for it at all. So
we're not trained for not being soldiers,
right?
Or sailors after we get out.
That's right. And so anyhow, so through that evolution, we realized that, okay, what can we do to be able to help create that relationship and that rapport? And that really started the evolution in 2019. Obviously, we transitioned to the nonprofit side. That started our focus on, if we create fun activities out in town, social events, then we can draw in those veterans that might enjoy those same things that we enjoy. So going and playing golf or hunting or fishing or just being a part of the community and doing something fun like a festival or something and being a part of that as a group and being involved in that activity with a bunch of veterans that have been there and done that, right? So if I tell you that, especially as a veteran, we attracted other veterans because we all have that commonality. No branch cannot say that I haven't, like if you're in the military and been active duty or reservist, every single one of us says we've been to boot camp, right?
Right.
Number one, we have camaraderie right there, right? And we'll talk smack to every single other branch, or we can tell stories about that experience because we've all been there.
Right.
And that just starts the evolution, obviously. And it goes all the way to the extreme side of combat and training and where you've been and what duty station and what training you've been through, what MOS, all of those things open up, but build an immediate connection with veterans and even their families. If they've been through that process as well, the family members are like, hey, I've been through that. Yeah, he does that or she does that, and that kind of thing. And so, but the social events are the means in which we can get them together and kind of start that conversation. Right. And then from that conversation, we continue those events, keep drawing them in. And over time, just like in any relationship, over time, you build some very good trust, very good rapport, build that battle buddy mentality. And that's when those veterans that were struggling, that you didn't physically see it, start opening up. Right. And we've been doing this now for just over 9 years. Matter of fact, it's 9 years this month. I mean, as far as hard dates.
And I think that sometimes veterans think, well, I don't need to plug into a group like that because I'm not really struggling with anything or I don't have anything going on or, maybe my service was great. But you can do one of two things. You can either come out and you can support the other veterans that maybe aren't, give them a little help, show them the way, be that battle buddy for another veteran, or plug in enough that at some point you're going to hit a bump in the road. We all do. And when that happens, then you've got a battle buddy there built in for you. Yep.
Yeah.
So I think that's a huge part of what we do. I mean, I would say the greatest resource that Eagle Ops provides is the relationship.
Right.
And then from that, we're building relationships within the community, the veteran service community, to make sure that when a veteran is struggling with something, that we can be there for them and we can plug them into those resources. The events that we do, they're a lot of fun and we love doing them. And that's a huge part of what we do. But like he said, that is simply the conduit to which we are providing that resource for those veterans.
Can you give me your, I love your mission statement. Can you tell me the mission statement? I know you have it memorized.
Oh, yeah. So mission statement, I said it earlier, is connecting relationships to resources to bring our heroes home one operation at a time.
And every event you do, I know that you make everyone say that.
Yes. Yeah, that on the mission statement. Obviously, there's a lot of things that we do, obviously, at our rally points to include that Battle Buddy oath is probably where you were speaking about. We do a Battle Buddy oath. One of our main focuses, especially in the evolution of Eagle Ops, is really stopping veteran suicide, right? And we know and understand that the number one, number two factors in suicide across the board are loneliness and isolation.
Absolutely.
Well, just like I was speaking to how do we help the best way, how's the best way to help veterans and their family? Well, it's by creating the rapport and the relationship, creating that battle buddy mentality so that when you are struggling, you will ask, right? And so we can connect, and so we've taken that a step further in the fact that we've created an oath to reach those folks that are mentally struggling as well, where I can't see it. Like, you come to the event, have a good time, that kind of stuff, but I don't know what you're dealing with on the inside until I really get to a point of trust and camaraderie that you can open up and say, man, I'm really struggling with, things.
Right.
And that may not happen for a while.
It may take months, years, sometimes to
so
make
we
that.
put that oath there as kind of hopefully something for them to think about. And we say it like similar to the oath that you took when you decided to stand up and join service. This is an oath for life.
Right.
Yeah. And that oath, it's pretty simple. We take it at every one of our events. We ask every veteran, every participant to come and join us. And that oath, like Jessica said, it's an oath for life. It's an oath for now and moving forward. Very similar to the oath that we took to protect and defend the Constitution and the freedom of this country, the freedoms that we fought for, and why we joined, right? I mean, all of us can say that probably, that we all joined for that purpose, in some form or fashion. Maybe not 100%, but certainly that was one of the factors, I think. And so our oath is pretty simplistic in that it is, I promise to my fellow service members, veterans, and family that when facing my demons, I will not take my own life, but I will reach out to my battle buddy because the battle cannot be won alone.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And so that battle buddy mentality, obviously coming back to that. So it's really our battle buddy oath in that fact. And we take that at every one of our events because at this point, 9 years in, it's 100% save lives. Mm-hmm. We have veterans on a very regular basis now come back to us and say, if it wasn't for you guys in this event and getting me plugged in, I would not be here today. Right. And that oath was a large part of that, right? You guys actually giving a darn and caring enough and helping me with these things as, helped with that as well. But that oath definitely has turned the tide for us in many situations. And it's about that connection and the resources that we have. We're not the end all be all. I say this all the time, and you'll hear me just in general speaking about this, is that our focus is truly about helping all veterans. And the way that we can truly do that is to get them in front of us. And then from there, they may not come to all of our events all the time, maybe once a year sometimes. I mean, I've got veterans that come back and be like, man, I came to your event 40 years ago and just plug back in. And for that time in their life, they needed something. And maybe it was the event and the social and connection, or maybe it was, hey, I just need to come and plug in enough and, help me get through this hurdle, right?
I'm having a really bad day. Like today's just not a good day for me,
Right.
and you guys had an event today, so I showed up.
Had an opportunity to come and join you.
And I think for someone listening that doesn't know, The number I've heard 17 to 20 now, but that's still a lot of veterans a day who take their life. So that's why this is so important.
Yeah, the numbers, I mean, obviously we hear it fluctuates. I mean, obviously data fluctuates on that side of it, but it is the last number that we've heard that the VA's released in the 2024 or 2023, it's about 2 years behind as far as data wise. It's 17 point something another per day.
7.6.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I mean, yes, those numbers are extremely important as far as data goes, but anything above 0 is a number that we don't want to see. Yeah.
Right.
So,
and it's 100% that suicide is 100% avoidable. We can 100% we can help with all of those issues. It's the one thing that we really focus on. We're not psychologists, right? You're not coming to us on the event side of it and not being like doctored on that side. We're not going to go through this crazy. We do have some questions up front that we do in our check-in that kind of lead us down that path of the cycle. How are you physically doing, mentally doing? If you're struggling, hey, just do it in our check-in. We'll call you back tomorrow. Let's go have fun at this event and plug in with veterans and have a good evening because all of our events are in the evening or on the weekend so that we can help with jobs during the day, right? Go to your job and join us afterwards, right? And so everything we do is nights and weekends. First 7 years of Jessica and I literally running this organization, worked a day job, did events nights and weekends, and we've continued that trend. So we have events literally Monday through Saturday from 6 to 9 p.m. pretty much any day of the week. And at this point, it's every day of the week, depending on what week it is. And we do a plethora of different events with it.
Where do I find your events?
So eagleops.org, eagleops.org is our website. If you go to that site, you can go to our Rally Point briefing. We have an online calendar. We have the OK Veterans calendar that we created, and that's statewide. So okveteranscalendar.com. That is not just our events, but all organizations across the state that are hosting or putting on an event that's related to veterans, service members, and their families. It's absolutely free for them to post. It's 24/7. It's just an online calendar for all veteran-focused events across the state of Oklahoma.
Great resource.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a very good resource for if you're looking for something in your hometown or near you, that kind of thing, that OK Veterans calendar. Right now, Eagle Ops, as far as our social events, we're primarily covering 21 counties in northeastern Oklahoma. And so we have got pretty much all of Green Country right now. And we do have an emphasis of going obviously west and covering all 77 counties. But with what we do, it's right here. Relationships are built by being in front of veterans and their families. And so it's difficult to just say, hey, we're going to move to this town and next town and next town and next town, because it takes time to build a rapport and relationships.
Right.
And so we do have a very heavy emphasis on finding what we call mission coordinators. And those would be veterans and their family members that are saying, hey, I'm in Timbuktu, Oklahoma, and you guys aren't here, but I'd love for you to be here. You could actually stand up and be a mission coordinator for us. We do all the back office, support you, all the way down to we give you a script, we market the opportunity, we promote it, and then we come to you and say, okay, you're willing to, be a difference maker, so volunteer, i.e., as a mission coordinator for us and host one of our events twice a month, right? So 6 to 9 on, when are you available? Tuesday night? Okay, Tuesday night on the second Tuesday of the month and the fourth Tuesday of the month, we're going to be at this location in this town, Timbuktu, doing what do you like to do? What do you like to do? Right?
Cornhole.
That's what it is. And so it comes down to the coordinators to be able to say, hey, this is what we'd like to do. And maybe you already have that kind of event or something going on in your town that I just take a part of. You don't have to start or recreate the wheel.
Yeah.
Like it's already happening.
And it can be as simple as we want to do a coffee meetup at a coffee shop. Doesn't require anything other than just showing up.
Yeah.
Cost of admission for just about every single one of our events. If it's not a fundraising event for Eagle Ops, if we're hosting it, cost of admission is just showing up. Right.
What is your biggest fundraiser for the year?
Biggest fundraiser for the year is the Welcome Home 5K. It's coming up November 8th this year. It is a 5K with an honor mile. And the honor mile is the final mile of the 5K, which honors 250 fallen service members. So plenty of Gold Star families. And they come out and they... we have a cat in here. Probably can't hear it on there.
Yeah, probably not.
Anyways, they honor their loved one with a sign with their photo and some information about them on it. And it's a great event. It happens at Mohawk Park here in Tulsa, which is right across the street from the Tulsa Zoo. If you wanted to find out more information about that, it's eagleops.org/Welcome Home 5K, or you could just find it from our main page. There's a drop down.
There's still a discount for early registration.
There is,
right?
and veterans and service members and first responders are always going to be $20. We try to keep that low for them.
It's pretty much the cost of our shirts and medals.
Yeah.
It's a pass through on that side of it to entice them to come and join us.
Yeah.
And the other thing that we do at the Welcome Home 5K, obviously it is a fundraiser for us. So we're looking for sponsors, beyond just having participants. We do what we call the VSO Village. So our Veteran Support Organization Village. And so as the participants in the race, they park and they literally walk. As they're walking in to get to our check-in, you have to go through what we call the VSO Village. And it is a plethora of resources from all across. So even, Catherine, if you could even, set up a booth and it's, hey, this is what we do, why we do it, how we do it. Here's the services and benefits that we provide veteran service members and their families. From the VA to benefits and healthcare to any number of organizations that are around town.
Coffee bunker there.
Yep. So obviously we partner and collaborate with all organizations across the state. Again, we're not the end all be all. So we know that if you have a brick and mortar or you do something for veterans as a veteran nonprofit, then we want to collaborate with you and partner with you because if they're not interested in something we're doing, then maybe they're interested in something that you're doing. And our overall mission on that is truly connecting veterans to relationships, to resources. Well, those are resources, right? And if I can help build that rapport and relationship with another organization and it benefits veterans and their families, service members and their families, and now even first responders and on that side, that's what we want to do. So.
Okay. What is the one thing you want a veteran to know in the Tulsa area about Eagle Ops?
I would say what I want a veteran to know is that you can bring a friend that's not a veteran to an Eagle Ops rally point. You can bring your families to an Eagle Ops rally point. You don't have to come alone, and it doesn't have to just be for veterans. And I think that's a huge thing that we provide because we know that veterans in the community have support systems that aren't always just veterans. And so bring them with you.
Yeah.
And I'll add to that I 100% I agree with her on that side of it. The one thing I would add is I'm going to flip that around. So veterans and your families, obviously, you're welcome, right? Patriots, i.e. family members, cousins, brothers, uncles, if you know a veteran, have a veteran in your family, your cost of admission to come and join us for all of our events, all of the things that, man, this stuff looks pretty expensive. We're doing Wake Surf Wednesdays. We're taking veterans and their families out on the lake, which, that's not cheap. We're doing golf nights, 4 nights a month. We do shooting events. The cost of admission for patriots, i.e. non-veterans, non-service members, is bring a veteran. That's it. So
it's pretty affordable.
Show up. Yep. Yeah. Take some time, come and join us, come check it out. That's exactly what we're looking to do. And we want every single person out there to say, hey, I want to go check this out just to go see what it's about.
Yep. That's
sure.
how we live our mission. And our primary program is Reach One More. And that's how we've done it. We've built this whole thing reaching one veteran at a time.
That's amazing. Thank you all so much for your time. It's been wonderful.
Absolutely.